we are going to discuss about the chapter friction. In this chapter, we have to discuss about the frictional force, types of friction and the characteristics of the frictional force. So, in previous lesson, we have discussed about the force. Force is nothing but a pull or push on an object. Force may change the shape of the object, size of the object. In the same way, force can change the state of rest or state of motion. That means a force is needed. If the body is in rest, to move that object or to move that body, we have to apply some force. In the same way, if an object is in motion, a force is needed to comes to rest. So here we discuss about the forces which acts in between objects. If you take a huge wooden block which is kept on the surface, if you push the box gently, it does not move. Then what happens to the force applied by us? That means a block nettడానికి మనం అప్లై చేసిన ఫోర్స్ ఏమైంది? That force is opposed by another force which tries to the block be in rest. That force which opposes the relative motion of an object which is in contact with the surface of another object is called as friction or frictional force. Here frictional force is nothing but a force acts in between two surfaces which are in contact. So if you observe the free body diagram for this case, that means when a block is kept on the surface and we apply some force, but it does not move. In case of free body diagram observe, this is the surface and this is the fuse box. Here surface acts a force which is called as normal force in the upward direction on the block. In the same way, the weight of the block acts downward direction due to the gravitational force. This is the normal force, this is the gravitational force, and these two forces are balanced. And that means here N is equal to minus W. These two forces are equal in the opposite direction. In the same way, the force applied by us on the box is capital F. Here the block is in rest. To be in rest, here the forces, that means the net force acts on this object is 0. Here these two forces are equal and opposite, hence the algebraic sum of these two forces is 0. Now which force balances the applied force? That force is nothing but frictional force which acts opposite to the applied force. Here small f is the friction force which is equal to opposite direction to the applied force. So the friction force is the force which opposes the relative motion of an object on the surface of another. In the same way, if you push a book which is kept on table in right side, then the book moves for a distance and comes to rest. We know that the reason for the motion of the book is nothing but the force applied by us. Then which force acts on the book which comes to rest? ఆ బుక్ ని మనం నెట్టినప్పుడు అది ముందుకు వెళ్తుంది. మనం నెట్టడం వల్ల మనం అప్లై చేసిన ఫోర్స్ వల్ల అది ముందుకు వెళ్తున్న విషయం మనకు తెలుస్తుంది. అది కొంత దూరం వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఆగిపోతుంది. అలా ఆగడానికి ఏ ఫోర్స్ పనిచేస్తుంది అంటే here also frictional force acts on the book. Here the force acts between the moving book and the surface of the table. Here the force is also called as frictional